Hello and welcome to video explaining the steps to be performed for normalizing the datasets. In previous videos, we have seen that in Power BI, we will be having multiple tables linked to each other through relationships created using primary keys and foreign keys. Now in next few videos, I will explain the process of creating multiple tables from a single flat table. This process is simply called as normalization. Now, before I move further, I would like to tell you that not to skip this topic. You may feel this topic is easy and can be skipped, but don't do that. Also, most of the Power BI training in the market have also not given adequate coverage to this topic. Hence, I did not want to repeat that mistake with my course here. It will be very easy to mess up with the data model and table structure within it, and thus later on it will be costly for you to rectify it. If you give focus upfront at the start itself, then later on it will be easier for you to create DAX formulas and also perform visual analysis. You need to know this stuff if you want to proceed with speed and confidence while building your DAX formulas using your own datasets. If you find these videos little tricky at the start, then feel free to stop and rewind or watch these videos multiple times till you fully understand these topics. So let us get started. Let us first quickly understand little more about exactly what is the normalization, and then we will briefly look at what are the steps for normalization, which I will be explaining you in more detail in next few videos. If you recall from previous videos, normalization is simply the process of organizing the tables and columns in a relational database in a way that it reduces redundancy and preserves the data integrity. I know this might be a little technical jargon for a starter, but stay tuned, this will become very clear to you very soon. In simple words, it serves three purposes. The first one is for size, speed and efficiency. By removing the duplicate details, it helps us to reduce the size of the data stored, which in turn helps us to query the data faster and more efficiently. Second is for modification to data. While updating or modifying the existing data, you need not to do it at multiple times. You can do it at a single place itself. This helps us to minimize errors and anomalies. The third one is in-depth analysis. Using standard approach to data models, it helps us to identify or simplify the queries and structure of our data models, which enables us to have a faster and meaningful analysis of given data sets. It also helps us other people to understand the data models and queries built on it very quickly. Performing normalization is a series of rules that your table structure must pass in order to be considered as a good and relational database design. These were developed 40 years ago mainly by Edgar Cort, the father of relational databases. The individual rules are called as normal forms and they must be tested in order, like passing through series of gates or checkpoints. In other words, you can't satisfy the requirements of the second form without satisfying the requirements of the first form. These are the three basic important forms which we will look into next few videos. And this has to be followed in order itself. Now you might actually accomplish some of these checks earlier in the process without realizing it. And these rules are not that hard to understand and implement. There are multiple ways to identify the issues we are about to look for, but it is always a good idea to go through a formal normalization procedure to make sure that nothing has slipped through the cracks. You will usually end up creating a few new tables as part of this process, but the end result is that your tables contain minimum duplicate or redundant data. It will contain the data that is easy to get to, easier to edit and maintain. You can perform operations even on difficult ones on your tables without creating any garbage in it. It is something we will do as part of our initial design, and it is also something we would reapply when our table design is tweaked or revisited. If you have your tables appropriately normalized, then half the battle is already won. It will also help you to have a simple and elegant DAX formulas later on based on your data models which you have created. So that is it for this introductory video. In next few videos, we will look in more detail about what are these rules, how we can be sure that our tables satisfy each of this normal form and much more. So let us get ahead and take a look at them in next videos.